Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey and welcome back for episode 52 of the Satisfactory series here on YouTube. In this video, it's another endgame item automation with turbo motors. 5 per minute should honestly be plenty and it's still quite a bit of work. We have a few of the parts ready to go and today's mainly about motors. Come along for the journey and hopefully it's easy to follow along with if necessary. Thank you all for the support and out with the series so far. Let's get to playing games. Here we go. Turbo motors, but easy. Well, easier. So for turbo motors, we need radio control units, rubber, cooling systems, and motors, obviously. But we've already got the cooling systems, we've already got the radio control units, and we've already got the rubber. So guess what we're doing today? We're just building 25 motors per minute because I don't have that available at the moment. Yeah, so most of this build, like you'll see in my little paint drawing here that I know you guys really appreciate, we've got the drawing set up to put together the motors, and then we've just got the 3 lines coming in at the end with the radio control units, rubber, and cooling systems into 3 manufacturers that are going to pump out 5 turbo motors per minute. We'll bank away probably a storage container full, and then the rest are going to get used in a future build coming up for one of these space elevator parts. Takes turbo motors. And I believe the 5 per minute should cover it no problem. So we're going to head on over to a couple different locations today. The first one we're going to head on over to is pretty much right next to our crystal oscillator factory here. I've got a platform set up ready to go to pump out the motors. There is a coal, copper, and iron node right there. Super easy. I'm already hooked up to them. And we will just put those together and then... my mic clipped again. I don't know what's happening lately, but hopefully it's not too bad. The cooling systems, I just added a train station over here where they're actually being made, and an extra train car. So all the aluminum that this train was originally pulling around, it now also pulls a 4th train car in the very back full of 20 cooling systems per minute and drops them off over at our heavy oil residue facility. And back there as well is where we'll get our 120 rubber. And as well, if you remember, that's where we also made our radio control units, which I now realize, thanks to somebody pointed out in the comments of that video, that I accidentally titled it Satisfactory Update 9, which is not a thing. That was a typo. My bad on that one. So yeah, we're going to head on over first to where the crystal oscillator factory is. We'll put together our motor factory. I'll tell you guys what we're going to need for that build here really quick. And then from there, we'll head on, like I said, we'll head on over the heavy oil residue facility, and then we will finish up this build pretty easily. So for your motor facility, you are going to need, all right, there we go. I got your list here ready to go. It is 41 smelters, 12 foundries, 62 constructors, 45 assemblers, and then the 3 manufacturers at the very end. I believe I'm only using a couple alternate recipes here, the solid steel ingot and the steel rotor recipe. The steel rotor I always like to use if you're making motors, because it takes the rotors and the stators and makes it into the same recipe of pipes and wire. You could use some pure recipes here and add in some water, but I decided to go a completely water-free build here. This is all just belts, no pipes, and it's all, there's no decimals or anything all the way along here. It's no crazy numbers. This one should be fairly easy. So if you're looking to make turbo motors for the first time, hopefully this is a good way of doing it. And instead of me continuing to talk your ear off, like I said, let's head on over to the crystal oscillator factory. Alright, here we are in front of the crystal oscillator factory. I did a 2-stack platform. I was going to do it all in one, but I'm going to start going back to doing the multiple stack. Plus this would have taken up a heck of a lot of room with 62 constructors and 45 assemblers. You're talking about a lot of space. Like pretty much, I think maybe double what that would have been. So I figured, you know what, let's just do it on 2 floors. So this floor will be for our smelters and foundries and constructors, and then up here I'll just do all the assemblers, and then we'll send it down. This line is going to send it all, it's got a conveyor belt all the way over to where it needs to be over there. And just before we get started, I'll show you the nodes and everything that you're going to be using, and we'll go over the numbers really quick. This is the coal miner right here. You can actually downclock this to, not 440, it's 450. And then we're going to go to the iron and copper nodes over here. Here's your copper node right here. You're going to need 650 from this one. You're going to need to overclock it. Alright, so I realized I made a boo-boo. I actually have tapped the wrong copper node because you need, it's 630 per minute, not 650, but this is also only able to output a total of 600. So we're going to scrap that one. You could still use it if there's two ways you can go about fixing this. So if you want to use this one, you can just switch to the pure copper ingot and then add some water from right here and pump it up there, and you'll just have to use some refineries for the copper. I am stubborn and I was like, you know what? I don't want to use water in this build. So I will show you there's a pure copper node just on this sort of that hill that I ran a belt over from. So that's what that big long belt is there now. That's going to take our, is going to bring over our copper ore. And then lastly, this is our, iron node. And this is also going to be down. This is a pure one as well. You can downclock this to 450. It's 450 iron, 450 coal to make the steel that we're going to need. And then, yeah, 630 copper is going to come from over here. We're just going to, I just ran underneath everything all along here. So if you come on over to this side of the hill, you actually have two pure copper nodes that I'm not using. So I just tapped the one that is right there. You see it coming into view now. It's just going to run everything all along and down below. I have more iron nodes here as well too. There's like so many pure nodes around here. It's crazy. So this is set to 630 per minute. And now we can get started with the actual build. So I think I'll do the copper and the 21 copper smelters first. And I think I'll just end up doing them more down to this side because they're going to feed into a bunch of constructors. And then on this side, I'll set up the iron because I have to smelt the iron into plates first. Or no, sorry. I have to smelt the iron into ingots first and then mix that with the coal to make the solid steel ingot. We are going to actually did end up changing my blueprint for these smelters here. So we're going to go ahead and use these bad boys. We'll go ahead and throw down, we need 21 of these. So we could do, we'll just do one big long line. I feel like I could do that, right? Sorry, game crashed while I was trying to put those down. So here we go. We'll go one. We're going to do 21 of these. So that would be 10, 15, 20, and then we'll just add one more smelter here on the very end. There we go. 21 smelters, and no one needs to be underclocked or overclocked. They're all set up, ready to go, 30 per minute. So we'll just go ahead and connect in all our belts really quick. All right, 21 copper smelters, good to go. So from there, those are, like I said, those are all going to start feeding into a bunch of constructors. So now I can start to set up the actual feeder lines for the steel that we're going to be making. So I need 15 smelters for iron. So I'm just going to, instead of setting up a whole extra blueprint, I'm just going to use these and I'll just change them over to iron. So we're going to set them up right here. Hopefully I'm going to try and aim it on the corner just like that. Here we go, 15 smelters, and yeah, like I said, just change those over to do iron ingot. And these also don't need to be downclocked or overclocked or anything. They are good to go as they are. Excellent. Okay, so we got all our smelters done now, and now we're just going to finish off this first step by doing our foundries. 12 foundries, which they're going to need to be underclocked just a little bit. But that's okay. So they'll get fed from this, and then as well as the coal line that'll come up here somewhere. So we're going to grab some more blueprints. Actually, just kidding, I don't have any refinery blueprints. So we're going to go grab these like this. Where do I want to put these? There we go. I couldn't really decide where to put them at first. I had them originally going in a line along here, and it was just a little too bit of a tight squeeze. They fit, but it was just too much of a tight squeeze. So I'm going with 2 groups of 6 to make the total of 12. And then we'll just make a manifold line, 2 manifold lines stacked on top of each other here. We'll do one along the bottom, and then we'll do one just stacked up a little higher so we can feed it over across each other. And that'll mean we'll just loop this side, or these ingots, we'll loop them around the back, and then we'll just bring the coal up and put it up above with a lift. So I'll show you quickly just how we're going to do it here with one, and then we'll just kind of skip ahead and put the rest in. So we'll do like one here, one here. This will be our bottom layer. I'll take that one out. And then this one, I'll go up. We'll just stack them up by 2, and I should be able to run the belts down from there. Yep, that way we don't have to waste our time with lifts. Okay, that works. So we'll just do that all the way along through here, and that'll be our manifold line for the foundries. There we go. Easy as that. Manifold line for foundries, and then you just set them to do the solid steel ingot. Right, I also forgot I told you need to downclock them. So the first 2 in the line, you're going to downclock to do 37.5 per minute. This way you're only putting out a total of 675 steel ingots per minute, and that's going to go to make a whole bunch of steel pipes. All right, so we just throw some merger lines on the back here for our foundries, and that's going to be it. That's going to be our first part of our to-do list completed. Smelters and foundries. All right, smelters and foundries coming off our to-do list today. There we go. And that moves us on to our pipe and wire constructors, which is all the constructors, all 62 of them. So I've got them, if you remember from the paint drawing in the beginning, I have them split up into 2 separate groups so that I don't have to worry about like splitting things. It's more balanced than just doing a pure manifold system, because with the numbers, you could just run everything all into like one big line of everything. But this way, I at least know for sure the exact numbers are going to the right spots. So I've split them up just a little bit to make things easier. And we will start with, let's start with the copper ones. So from over here, I'm going to need to feed a group of 18 constructors and a group of 24 constructors. So they are going to get fed from this one single line here, but they're going to get shared together to split off to go to different things above us here when we get to the upper floor. So let's start out with grabbing our blueprints. We will use, what sort of one should I use here? These are all even numbers, so I'm going to grab my 4 constructor manifold. We are going to do the first group of 18 here. You know what? I got 12 of them in, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I'm probably going to need some more space. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in just a little bit more floor here on the back side, just to give myself a little bit more room, because I'm a little nervous things might get a little too packed. Like I'll get it like further into it and I'll be like, oh, just not enough room. So adding a little bit more space here, and then we will throw in the 4 constructor manifold line here. Take it off blueprint mode. So we'll start it all the way out here just to give ourselves some more room. We'll go 1. Oops. I don't even know where that is. Flying in the sky. All right, 18 of these. There we go, 18 constructors. I did 16, and then I just added 2 extra ones on the very end. So these are all going to be set to do copper wire. No underclocking or overclocking required, I don't think. Let me double check back in with you in just a second though. Yep, no underclocking, overclocking required. Everyone's just set up normally. All right, that is our first set of wire constructors, and unfortunately the smaller set of the 2, because now I need to put in 24, and I think what I'll just do is I'll do like a line at like 2 lines of 12, So what I'll have to do is we'll grab the same blueprint here, grab our 4 constructor manifold, and then what I'll do here is we'll go twelve per side. So we'll go 3 of these. Oh my god, I'm really glad I gave myself a little bit extra room, because we still haven't even done the constructors of the pipe. The constructors of the pipes won't take it, but the constructors of the pipes can definitely fit in this area. So I could have given myself just a little bit more room here. Definitely a bit of a tight squeeze going through here, but that's okay. So these are all set to do. We need 720 wire coming in here. So we're going to do 720 divided by 24. If that's 30, it is perfect. No underclocking or overclocking required. Look at us go. So make sure these are all set to copper wire. We will be ready to move on to our pipes. Well, I'll say, as I always do, thank you guys again so much for all the support on the series so far, and every time you guys leave comments and everything down below, I try and respond to all of them. So you just want to, you know, leave a nice little share how you like the video, or, you know, point out one of my mistakes that I probably made along the way, or, you know, anything. Tell me your favorite Pokemon. I don't know. Just leave me a nice little comment down below, and I'll get back to you on it. What other games you guys playing right now? I've been really addicted to the new Diablo 4 season. I don't know if anyone else is a Diablo 4 fan, or a Diablo fan in general. I've been a lifelong Diablo fan, and all this new season they put out is quite fun. So yeah, you need to hook up all your belts along here. That should finish off all of our copper products. And then once we have all our constructors set up and figured out like where everything's going to go, then I'll start bringing things upstairs. I don't think I actually really needed this logistics floor in between. I just kind of added it because that's what my blueprint has anyway. We'll probably make use of it somehow. But that is all the copper wire down on that side. And now we can do, we need 6 constructors and 14 constructors. These are going to be for our pipes. So we go ahead and we'll grab our blueprints once again. Grab our 4 constructor manifold. The first set of pipes I'm just going to do right here because it'll be nice and easy. So we'll do this 4. And then we'll grab another 2, put it on the end. And that'll be the 6 we need for this line. Just add our mergers and splitters and everybody. Just like that. And then we'll just need to hook them up to power as well. This needs to output 180 pipes per minute. So we're going to go ahead and select our steel pipe recipe. If it makes 20 and we have 6, that is a total of 180. So guess what? No underclocking or overclocking required here either. Beautiful. Sorry, you guys are probably like, Chevry, what math are you doing in your head? I don't know what was happening. I actually need 9 constructors here to do 180 pipes. Silly me. Let me shift this over to 6. Let me shift it over just a little bit so we can actually still fit the all 9 of them in here. Whoops, that was an oversight on my part. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So we're just gonna pretend that last part didn't happen, and we now have our 9 constructors for steel pipes. But again, no underclocking or overclocking required, as long as you put down the correct number of constructors. There we go. Okay, steel pipes, part 1 done. That probably means I may have even miscounted the amount of constructors I said you guys need, but sorry about that. Sometimes I make mistakes. I'm sure you guys know that by now. Okay, this last one I didn't miscount. I double checked. We need 14 constructors for 270 pipes with a little bit of downclocking. So we're going to go ahead and put down our 14 constructors that we're going to need through here. I think what I'll do is because I don't think there's any way either that direction or this direction to get 14 in here. I mean, maybe, because that's 12 and I could just squeeze 2 in the end, but that'd be real tight. So I think I'm just going to do 2 lines of 7 instead. So what we'll do is we'll grab our blueprints of 4 and then we'll just add some in on the end. So we'll put them maybe about like right here. And And if I need 7, I'll just do this and I'll delete the one off the end. It's usually the easier way of doing it. How much room have I got? Okay, not a lot. So we'll go pop those in there. And then we'll just connect them, and you're going to set these to do pipes. I need 270 total, so let's go 270 divided by 14. Ouch. Let's not do that. Okay. Let's go 270 let's go 20 times 14. Okay, let's just take 10 off. So first we got to delete these ones off the end because we don't need them. Then we'll clean it up after. And then on the first one in the line, what did I say I need to take off? 10? So let's make 15 here and 15 here. And that'll balance itself out. And now we'll just clean up this end part here. All right, that is all the pipe and wire constructors. We can take that off our to-do list as well. We're making some good time today. So that is, obviously I haven't hooked anyone up to power yet, and I still have to hook up all their actual original feeder lines, but that's all pretty straightforward, especially since most of it's already coming over here. Like this is going to be the copper. Then we just got to run the iron from there, coal from, where's coal? Coal's over there. So let's run that down along underneath, get those all hooked up. But now we can hook or move on to setting up. I was gonna say hooking up. Moving on to setting up the stator and motor assemblers up on the top floor here. Well, and the motor assemblers. Obviously, that all of that stuff happens up here. So there's no real, you know, best way of going about this, I don't think. So gonna kind of get crossed. Stuff's gonna kind of get crossed around and over either way. So we need 18 assemblers for rotors and 18 assemblers for stators. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab my 3 assemblers. This actually work out nicely because if we just do 6 of these, that should be 18. So for this can be rotors. I mean, it doesn't really matter, like I said, which one it is because they're the same recipe. So that would be 9. Oh man, I might need some more room up here. If I just shift these over a little bit. I move them to like back here. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did below where I added this like blueprint section on down below. I'm gonna add this up here as well. Because I need more room. Ran out of room for activities. Just shave the end off if you want. Keep it all even. There we go. And then I should be able to just put in one more assembler blueprint to make 18. There we go. 18 assemblers. Had I have done these in like 2 groups of 9, I may have made things fit a little bit better, but like I still need to add in another, like I need to do that a second time, and then I also still need room for another 9 up towards the front here doing the actual motors. So let's go ahead and throw in another, literally do this a second time for the either stators or rotors, whichever one you decide. So we'll go copy and paste. There we go. We got another 18 assemblers set there, and then give myself a little bit of extra room on the end. Grabbing our last bit of assemblers for the motors. This is where we're going to put in 9. So it's just going to be 3 of these. So we're just going to go 1, 2, and 3. That was actually really easy. Nice. So now we can just go hook up all these belts along here. Hook up the power and everything, set the whichever one you want to do. Like I said, it doesn't quite matter which one to do, stators or motors, and then or stators or rotors. These are motors. There's no special way about that. So we're gonna be putting out a total of 25 per minute. So we're gonna go. Or sorry, I've been telling, so sorry, we're making 45 motors with this build. 25 is going to go to make the turbo motors, and then, or it's, yeah, sorry, 20 is going to go make the turbo motors, and then the other 25 are getting held on to for a future build. So we're actually making 45 motors total. That's why I have 9 of these, and they make 5 each. Just in case you were like, hey, I thought you were only making 25. Well, we're making more. We're making 45. So this is, like I mentioned in previous episodes, I'm at the point where we're kind of like preparing a lot of builds, so that we don't have to do everything all in one go. So now we'll set these to do the steel rotor. Let me see how many of these we need per minute. Oh, fun fact, there's going to be no underclocking or overclocking required on either of these. They're just outputting 90 total, so we can go ahead and copy and paste that onto everybody all along here. So that was the rotors, that means this is the stators. And then we'll just slap belts on everybody, so I mean you can stay on this floor as well. All the... like this one line, output line is going to get connected to here, this one as well. That'll output all our motors, and then we'll be able to send our motors over to where we'll be setting up our manufacturers. So let me just go ahead and quickly throw together all the belts here. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll just montage it because I also got to like bring over all the other stuff too. So yeah, let me just hook up some belts and then we'll come back and turn this on. everything's been belted, everything's been hooked up. Now we just need to turn it all on. So we're gonna go ahead and connect some power to right here. This should turn on nothing. Okay, cool. There we go. Give me a second here. We're almost there. Almost. Hang on. There. Still didn't turn on. Okay. Hang on. There we go. I forgot a few connections. Now everything's on. I think I still need to hook up you to you. There we go. And then now I just need to find any reds, like over here. Oh, I didn't hook this up to power, that's why. Okay, so we're looking for reds, because this was not set up yet. And I see a red back here. There we go. Those are all done now. Okay, so now it's just a matter of letting everything actually back up. So we've got pipes going. Lots of steel rolling around. Looking for a bunch of wire to start rolling out of here soon. It's going upstairs. Okay, that's good. I see steel pipes and I see wire. That's a good sign. Why are these all right? Oh, right. I didn't turn any of these on. The upper floor still needs to be turned on. Okay. So we're going to go to this power line over here. And turn everybody on up here. Excellent. Okay. So I see some greens. So we will at least have a couple motors going here soon. Yeah, it'll take a few minutes to get everything all backed up and going here, since everything's sort of interconnected. So I think what we'll do, instead of just sitting here waiting around, we'll move on to the rest of the episode. This is not the end. Usually when we turn something on, it's the very end, but this is like a two-parter episode. So we got the motors going. We got them split up top. So you get the 20 that you're going to need for the actual turbo motors here, and then the 25 that are just going to go into here into the sink for now. It's totally fine. We're going to be using them in the future. So now we can go ahead and head on over to back over to the heavy oil residue plant, and we can do the gathering of all our items and set up the 3 manufacturers of the turbo motor, and that'll bring us to the end of the episode. All right, back at the heavy oil residue platform. Here's our train station. Like I mentioned earlier, I did just add on one at the very end, and it's been bringing over some cooling systems for me, so it's ready to go. We're just going to end up probably setting those down below. All right, yeah, so I've got everything kind of set up here. We've got where our radio control units will come from. We've got where the motors will come from. This is 120 rubber per minute for the turbo motors. That comes out of these refineries here. And then the rest will actually just get sent off into the sink there. So I'm going to set this to center output is going to be overflow. And then the left output will be the rubber that we actually need. And then this one is going to be where the cooling, so we got cooling systems, we've got radio control units, we got motors, and we got rubber. And that's going to be our recipe for our turbo motors here today. I've got it labeled out here. And like I said, we only need 3 main, I'm going to kind of do this a little bit out of order, but that's okay. We only need 3 manufacturers for this one. I'm going to do the first one not as a blueprint. Actually, wait, here's what I'll do. So my manufacturer blueprint. We need 4 inputs. We'll put down our first one, 2, and 3. But what I want to do to make loading things in a little bit easier is I'm actually going to take off all the front inputs on this one. I'm going to redo them just to make it a little bit easier. Actually, this one could have stayed. But the second, third, and fourth one I want to turn. The input's going to be coming in from this side. I'm going to stack 2 there. And do the same thing for all these. Go 3. And then a 4. And you can delete the bottom ones. Then what I'll do is I'll grab the lifts. And we'll start snapping them in here. I'm going to do the same on the back side. I don't think that went down far enough. It did not. And then in order to make this a stubby, I'll show you guys how to do that really quick. You're going to grab a conveyor pole. I think it needs to be in line right there, right here. Might be right there. I'll try there first. There we go. Yeah, so you have to do a little stubby coming out of a... if it doesn't have a second thing to connect to, it won't do little stubby, so you just use a little conveyor pole like that. So now I can have all my inputs on this level. So we're just going to kind of drag them out like this. We'll move the sign. And that'll be your 4 inputs for your turbo motors. So now we're just going to go ahead and connect these belts in somehow. I think I'll just keep the rubber down here. Okay, so here, I'm just going to change this really fast. There we go. So I'll pull 120 rubber along this conveyor belt here by using Mark II, and then, so that is any undefined on the left, and then the right output is the overflow to send it back into the rest of the system that we need over there. So that is the rubber taken care of. Now, the motor... Oh, I see motors actually starting to arrive. That's cool. So we'll start bringing the motors around. Actually, no, here, let's get rid of this turbo motor sign for a second. Okay, so motors are hooked up into the system. Must just be a visual glitch, so that one's stuck there. So those will kind of come up and start filling the system. So next we'll do the radio control units. So we'll grab another Mark I conveyor belt, bring it all the way down to here. I haven't actually hooked those up yet, but we'll go over that in just a second. And then we got our cooling systems. They come in from the train line. I'm just gonna have to run from down below because otherwise it's gonna get in the way of my actual train track. So there's all our belts feeding the actual system. Let's hook up the power before I forget. And these are turbo motors. Now we're making a total of 5 per minute. So we're going to do 5 divided by 3. Copy that. Paste there. Paste that on all these. And we got a total of 5 turbo motors per minute. And like I said earlier, we're going to put those into a storage container for a bit. Just to let that build up for crafting, like, because I'm pretty, you need the turbo motors for the Mark III conveyor. You need turbo motors for a couple things. So just hang on to them. A nice full storage container should be fine. And then the rest are going to get used in a recipe for those phase 4 space elevator parts. Okay, there we go. So they are ready to actually make the turbo motors. Now we're actually just going to hook everything else up. So let's grab our 10 radio control units per minute. So they come from over here. Went and did similar to what I did in the aluminum factory. I marked them out for us. So we got these 3 right here that are all making these, or sorry, these 2 are making 4.5 per minute. Let's make that. Wait. Sorry, that's too many. We're making too many. That's 11. I need 10. So go 4 per minute each. 4, 4, and 2. And then add that one back in here on the very end. We'll go 6.5 per minute on this one. There we go. That should still keep everything even. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send. I got a lift here and I got to turn. Oops. Might as well take that out for a second. I got to turn these. To face back this way. And then we can put the belt on like that. May have to reconnect some of these. Sometimes it's a little wonky. Make sure these actually come out. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So that's working now. So that'll give us the 10 radio control units that we need per minute. Should see them pop up here anytime. Yep, there they are right there. Okay, so there's the 10 radio control units per minute. We got our motors. We got our rubber. Last but not least, the cooling systems. And that's just going to get sent over from over here. I mean, for now, I'll just kind of throw a hole off the end of this thing. Alright, I moved out of the way just in time. Otherwise, that train was going to end my life. So there we go. It's some cooling system coming in now. We got the radio control units. We got the motors. And we got the rubber. So it should be just a matter of time until we see our first turbo motor come out of here. So we'll take these last two things off our to-do list because that is the end for today. Now we do what we do once we get to the end of these episodes. I want to see the very first one coming out here. I don't know who it's going to be first. Probably the first one in the line, obviously. He actually has motors. Why does nobody have anything? What's happening here? All right. Should probably finish connecting the rest of the machines here. All right, I see our first green lights. We had enough motors roll in. Actually got 2 running right now, so we're gonna see our first turbo motors coming out here just any second. How long this actually takes? Any second now. Show me that beautiful, beautiful turbo motor. Come on. Show me the turbo motor. There it is. Yum. Beautiful. Automated turbo motors. What an absolutely crazy project we just took on. The one that uses like pressure like the cubes and packaging it, like that one's such a crazy recipe, but I mean it might be worth it like in the future. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys again so much for bearing with me for another episode. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes if you were following along. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Join the Discord if you're not already. If you really want to support the channel, you can check out the Patreon, maybe become a YouTube channel member. But other than that, like I said, thank you guys so much. We're slowly working our way up towards 1,000 subscribers. And I really appreciate you guys coming back for each of these episodes. So I will see you in the next one.